to my art channel. Without further ado, let's get drawing.
Hi everybody, so we're going to be doing a drawing from our Christmas list of designs, and today we're going to be doing some really cool Christmas bells with some holly and some, just Christmas decorations. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and we're going to open up a 12 by 12 canvas. I'm doing this on a square canvas just so that it's easier for you all to, for the beginners, for those who want to understand about the brush sizes and who are just getting used to all the features. So first of all, we're going to turn on our drawing guide and we're going to edit our drawing guide, and down here click on the symmetry and make sure that you choose your vertical symmetry so that when you draw on one side, the other side is exactly the same. Now I'm going to go to my inking brush for this, my studio pen, and I'm just going to choose a kind of golden colour that would be the bell colour, which we're going to use. Now to begin with, we're just going to make sure that your pen size is around halfway, and we're just going to draw a curve like so, and then we're just going to bring it down underneath here, and then we're just going to create a curve like so, and then up here we're just going to do the top of the bell. Now I'm going to drag and drop this colour here, and then on the inside I'm going to drag and drop another colour, but because I want to do some very cool shading here, I'm going to add a new layer and I'm going to bring it underneath, and then I'm just going to choose a darker gold. I'm just going to create like so. And now this means that I can create texture and shadow just on this part and then just on this part also. I'm going to go ahead and do a clipping mask for this top part of the bell, and in the same dark gold colour I'm going to change my pen. I'm going to use dry ink. Just going to turn it up a bit. And I'm just going to go ahead and draw some curved lines like so. These are going to be part of the decoration. And then in between this part here and the top part, in a lighter colour, we're just going to draw the inside of the bell. Now, just have a play about with it. It's literally just a line with a little bobble on the end. Go above to this layer, and with your eraser, you can zoom in and just erase this top line here. Obviously I have drawing assist on, so you're going to want to turn that off, otherwise you're going to erase parts that you don't want to. Okay, so this is going to be the basic of the bell, but we also need to add some shadowing, and we need to add some extra details. So I'm just going to go onto this layer and I'm just going to click on Alpha Lock. I turn my Alpha Lock on, and I'm going to go to my touch up brushes, and I'm going to use my noise brush. I'm just going to choose a really dark gold, and I'm just going to add some shadows here, and then a little bit lighter. Just add some extra depth. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and add some texture now onto the top of the bell. So I'm going to go ahead and turn Alpha Lock on, and again in just a dark and golder colour, I'm just going to add some shadows very lightly, and then in a lighter colour as well, we're just going to add some highlights, and then in a white I'm just going to go ahead and add some even more highlights. Now you can also play about with some fun colours, some Christmas colours. You can go ahead and add bright yellows as highlights rather than white. You know, just play about with the shading. I like the noise brush for shadows. And then go ahead and do the same on your small bell here. Just play about with brush size. And then you have your basic bell, which we are going to add onto. So now I'm going to group these 4 layers by swiping right and grouping them. Now I'm just going to move this bell slightly to the left, and I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to add the same bell duplicated. I'm just going to move them so we have a pair of Christmas bells, something like this. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do a ribbon on the top. Now I'm going to use my dry ink brush. I like this brush a lot. So first of all, we're just going to zoom in, and we're just going to do a square like so. And then we're going to add a new layer underneath. And we are just going to do something like this. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're going to add another layer, and we are going to just do the same here. And we're just going to colour it in like this. And then we are going to add a new layer, and we're just going to bring two small lines down for the ribbon. Okay, something like this. You can play about with it, obviously. Okay, now on each layer we're just going to go ahead and turn Alpha Lock on like so, and then we are going to go to our noise brush, and we're going to choose a dark burgundy. And then on each layer we're just going to add some shadows. And then we're going to do some highlights. And then in a white, we're just going to add some extra highlights just to give it that extra depth. And then when you zoom out, you'll have something that looks like this. Okay, now we are just going to merge down all these 4 layers. And we're just going to choose black. We're going to go back to our dry ink brush. And we're just going to add some extra lines, some details to our bow. And then just some shadows, nothing particular. Really simple. Something like this. Okay, now we're going to warp the bow. We're going to use our warp feature. So we are going to click on our move, our little mouse brush here, and we're going to click warp. And then as you can see, you can now warp and distort the design to give it more movement so that it actually looks as if it's flowing or sitting on top where it should be. So then it will look something like this. Then we are going to add, in between these 2 layers, we're going to add a new layer, and we're going to turn our brush size up and our opacity even further down, and this is going to be our shadow. And we're just going to create a small triangle of shadow and then bring it round here underneath the bow, and then the same on this side. We're then going to add a new layer underneath the bow and above the bells, and we're just going to do the same here, and we're just going to add some shadow here. You can then blend this shadow in so that it doesn't look so harsh. If you're going for a more softer look, just play about with the brushes. As you can see, you can just blend in the shadow. Go back to this layer. It's all about adding layers on top of layers to create depth and colour and texture. Now we are going to go ahead and open up a new layer, and we're going to bring it all the way to the bottom. And then we are going to draw our holly leaves. Now, if you aren't sure, bring it first to the top to draw your holly leaves, turn your opacity up. Now, to draw your holly leaves, you're just going to do a spiked kind of leaf. Go ahead and you can use reference pictures if you aren't sure. Just colour it in, turn on alpha lock, choose a darker colour, and then just add your detail like so, and you can add some extra texture. I'm going to use we have some element brushes here. There's loads of really cool brushes that you can use. Under here, under vintage on wedge tail, I'm just going to use this one, and I'm just going to give it a bit of a Christmas look. I'm going to turn the opacity down, and then there we go. and it will look something like this. I'm going to just choose a lighter green, and then you can just play about with the textures of the brushes until you really get what you're looking for. Okay, something like this, and then we are going to duplicate it, freeform or uniform, don't flip it like I just did. And we're just going to duplicate it and attach it to this other leaf, and we're just going to drag and drop to make a different kind of green colour, obviously just to make it stand out slightly from the one it's next to. Okay, and then now we are going to merge these two layers together, and we are going to bring these underneath the bells, and we are going to duplicate them and we are going to add several of these to behind our bell. Just go ahead and duplicate them. You can also change the colours on them. Until you get the look that you're going for. Then we're going to add a new layer, and in a dark burgundy near black colour, we are going to go back to our dry ink brush. We are just going to add a few stems of red cherries, something like this. Turn alpha lock on, and then you can just add some shadows to them and some highlights. And then again, we will be duplicating these cute berries all around our drawing. So go ahead and just duplicate. You can flip them, change the size of them, and just play about with the placement of them. Then go ahead and turn off your drawing guide, because that line down the middle is really annoying me. Pick a background colour, or even you can do your own background colour. And then we are going to merge all these layers together. Then we are going to go ahead to our magic wand and click on bloom, and then on layer, and we are just going to turn it up to about 43, maybe a little bit more. And then as you can see, you now have a very luminous, shiny effect to your Christmas bells. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in our next one.
Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because it really helps me in creating more free videos for all of you out there. So if you want to come and join my Procreate group, the links are in the description. I'd love for you to be a member of my group. We can share awesome ideas, tips and artwork. Also, please don't forget to tag me on Instagram so that I can see what work you've created from this awesome tutorial. So love to you all, and I'll see you in the next video.